So we hear the word breakthrough thrown around. And what does it mean? I'm here today to talk to you about breakthrough as a way of life and to give you my secret sauce formula and more detailed information about the secret weapon that I keep in my back pocket with me 100% of the time, called breakthrough. The Tougher Together Breakthrough podcast is brought to you by RebeccahSilence.com. Please visit RebeccahSilence.com today. That's RebeccahSilence.com to learn more about programs for individuals, couples, children, families, and businesses. See for yourself at RebeccahSilence.com, RebeccahSilence.com. What's possible for your next steps in breakthrough and healing. So what is a breakthrough? It's finding your way out of suffering and stuck. It's that feeling of new energy, renewed life, and excitement. When I was 7 months pregnant with my second baby, I received a life-changing diagnosis. I had cancer. When I told my older daughter, she said, "So you're going to die?" And the only thing that saved my life during that time was knowing how to emotionally break through. Welcome to the Tougher Together Breakthrough podcast. I'm your host, Rebeccah Silence. I'm a speaker, coach, and the creator of Healing is Possible. In each episode, I prepare you for life no matter what challenges you're facing. I'm going to invite you into the stories of real people who are living life in breakthrough and making the world a better place. If they can do it, so can you. Breakthrough is your right. Get ready to break through. Get ready for the rest of your life. If you've ever worried about looking good, if you've ever worried about the other shoe dropping, if you've ever just struggled with letting yourself relax and enjoy your life, you absolutely want to tune into this episode where I share why breakthrough. And I share the how-tos and the roadmap for breakthrough being a new way of life that is the rule that you live by versus survival mode being the rule that you live by. I'm Rebeccah Silence, host of the Tougher Together Breakthrough podcast. So honored to be with you for a second season. And I wanted to take this time to just dive in more on this whole concept of breakthrough in such a way that it starts to kerchunk and integrate and just seep into your body and your spirit even more than just being a concept or an intellectual understanding. Nobody's life changed because they read a personal growth book. I'm sorry, but it's true. Nobody's life changed because they understood something more. It's integration that rewires our physiology. It's integration of living into and understanding so that you can be what you learned that creates the real change. And breakthrough is something that physiologically changes you beyond even just the rewiring of your brain. It literally gets your whole body, mind, and spirit aligned in such a way once you've integrated that you live it now when you couldn't before. So today's episode is about breakthrough and integrating that for you. And I am a coach that says there's no roadmap. There's no cookie cutter way for you to heal and live and be fulfilled. What we need to do is help you design your life your way. And the way I know how to do that is through breakthrough. Breakthrough has allowed me to design my life my way. It has allowed my clients to design their lives their way. And you've heard from many of my clients in season 1. You're going to hear from more in season 2 about what that looks like. And the whole point is it's different for all of us. So if you're looking for answers, if you're looking for someone to tell you what you need or how to live or what to do or what to stop doing, I want you to just slow your roll and really start to relax into the possibility that you are the goddamn superhero you've been waiting for. You are it, and breakthrough will get you there, and nobody can give it to you. Nobody can give you breakthrough. But what can happen is a great coach or a great therapist or a great mentor or a great community of support can rally around you and hold space as you break through. as you're supported in breaking through and as you're finding your own answers. I recently had a coaching session with an amazing woman who woke up, had a breakthrough around, oh my goodness, it's up to me to find and follow my own trail markers. She'd been wanting the world to give her signs, to give her answers, to give her clues and inspiration and permission. This amazing client of mine is transforming her career, her marriage, her money, her body, all at the same time. And breakthrough is what's helping her get there. So what on earth am I talking about? Breakthrough is literally a moment. It's the moment the energy shifts. It's the moment that the heaviness starts to lighten up. Breakthrough doesn't change the results. It gives you access to new results and inspiration and a confidence that, okay, there's an opening now. It's not so heavy anymore. It's lighter. Breakthrough is the opening into new possibilities. And when we're ready to grow, it's literally like our lives wake up. And our lives wake up one breakthrough at a time. And you know, when your foot falls asleep, it hurts. When your life has fallen asleep and you start to wake up, it's brutal, but not forever. It doesn't last forever. It's just temporary and necessary. And your brain's waking up, your body's waking up, your soul's waking up. And this is good news. If you're willing to breathe through discomfort until you get to breakthrough, you have everything you need. Everything you need. And I want you to consider that life, the way it's been, has been comfortable. We do what's most valuable to us. We do what's most valuable to us until it's no longer valuable. So what I'm wanting is to lower the value of life being comfortable and in breakdown and good enough, and to raise the value of you seeking and committing to and leaning into breakthrough as a new rule that you live by and a new way of life. And what I want, instead of worrying about looking good, because let me tell you, breakthrough's a mess in my coaching and in my retreats with people. And even on this podcast, we get raw, we get messy, and then we get real, and then we can grow, right? And nobody wants to be raw and messy and real in front of people. And that is the prerequisite to the growth. And I want to just say, like, so what to it getting messy? I'd rather you be able to go to sleep at night knowing I have no secrets. I have no regrets. I have no things that I know I need to handle that I'm not handling weighing me down. I have no heartbreak running my life that I've decided it's impossible to heal and I've just resigned and given up. I want us going to bed at night knowing I'm squeaky clean with me. I'm a mess. My best is enough. I gave my all. And I'm willing one breakthrough at a time to like shed the layers of heaviness and hurt and frustration that have been haunting me. That's breakthrough. It's one layer at a time, just shedding off, sloughing off the gunk, the ick, the hard stuff that keeps you breathing less and less and less and living less and less and less. So instead of that perpetual worrying about looking good, and if we're honest, I mean, how much of our days, how much of our weeks, our months, our year, our decades, our lives are we spending in worry? I want you to think about that. Worry prevents breakthrough. And it's so fruitless. It's such a waste of life and energy. And I'm not saying that there aren't good reasons to worry. I'm just saying, how is that worry helping you? Breakthrough, it's an alternative. And what I want us to consider as a breakthrough opportunity when it comes to that worrying about looking good or not looking good, I want us to replace all that worry with how it looks, with a commitment to showing up fully as you. Again, the goal is no regrets. That's the goal. No regrets. I showed up. And then the world deserves to meet you. The world deserves to meet you. That client I just shared about that's following her own trail markers now and looking for them and risking following them without really knowing where she's going. I mean, so many of us are following in other people's footsteps. When what our destiny is to blaze a trail that isn't there yet. Your destiny is to blaze a trail for your life that there are no footprints to put your feet into because it doesn't exist yet. You're creating it. You're creating a new way, and it doesn't have to be that we're on autopilot, going through the motions, living, a little bit better or a little bit beyond what we thought we could, and good enough is good enough. It can be every day of your life, every moment of your life is a dream come true. And that might sound idealistic, but listen, I've been through darkness. I've been through all kinds of victimizations. I've been through cancer. I've been through bankruptcy and financial devastation. I've been through so much. And I'm not saying that to be dramatic. It's real. And if I can do it, so can you. And I've had to blaze a trail that I didn't see really as possible, but I wanted. And I hadn't seen it before. I went into a little town, got on the radio, built a practice. I was given very minimal odds of success at life after cancer, during cancer, and I'm doing all right. And whatever your, I want it, but I don't quite know if I can get it is, I want you to get brave and courageous and break through the belief that you showing up exactly as you would need to create that is too hard or impossible. It's not too hard or impossible. It's just risky. And you're going to get messy, and it's going to be a little bit ugly for a while. And it's going to be almost like you're dying in the process of trying to create this dream, because who you were prior to the breakthrough that had you go for it has to die for you to create it. You've got to evolve beyond the comfort zone that you've been living in. You've got to evolve into the person that you haven't met yet, that it's going to take to have that dream. And I don't know if it's a relationship or money or a career or your life purpose or healing with your children or whatever that heartbreak is. Maybe you've been abused. Maybe you've been haunted by a different type of trauma, but I'm telling you, there's life beyond it. And you've got to know what you want. And then you do know what you want already, and you got to show up as the person it would take to create it if you're going to get there. And it's a version of you haven't met yet. And it's going to feel like a free fall that you might be afraid you're not going to survive, but I promise you will. And the thing is, you're surviving the life you have now. And if you're miserable, what the hell? Let's go. If you're miserable in any way, shape, or form, this episode is for you, because it does not need to be like that. And I'm not saying that you can escape misery permanently or suffering permanently, but man, can it be less and less and less and less and less the experience you're having? And can your dreams and you being a version of yourself that you can be confident in and proud of, that's in breakthrough as the rule versus the exception, be more and more and more the person that's showing up in the world, the person that is shining their light authentically, bravely, courageously, going for it, putting one foot in front of the other, blazing a trail that doesn't exist yet, that other people will follow. You are here to blaze a trail that other people are going to follow. Not to just be a sheep that's trying to figure out how to follow others. If you are listening to this podcast, you want breakthrough, you deserve breakthrough, and it will require you showing up in a whole new way. And that means the way it's been is going to unravel. And it's like the death of your ego gives you your life back. And all your ego is that fear-based part of you that's trying to protect you. And you do not need protecting. You need to show up more. And you can't show up more if you're worrying about how it looks or what other people think. And you might be thinking, Rebeccah, this is so easy for you to say. Come on. I am worried about what my mother thinks, my father thinks, my kids think, my spouse thinks, my best friend thinks. And fine. I understand that could be real, but I'm just here to say why. Like their opinions, if they haven't done the thing that you want to do, why are you listening to their feedback or their judgments? Unless their feedback and their judgments are cheering you on in some way. I have a best friend that's like, hey, you need more of this in your content. You need less of that in your content. She's not a coach, but she absolutely is wanting everything for me. That's different. That's different. So the critics that are in your corner trying to help you be better and more and get there, listen to them all day long. But the ones that have no idea what you're talking about, aren't actually that supportive and just want to help you protect yourself, that's not who to listen to. That's not who to listen to. And while I was sick, I had family members I had to say, unless you're going to treat me like I'm healthy and well, even though right now I know it doesn't look that way, I can't see you and talk to you. That was hard, but it was true. I was not going to identify as dying. And anybody that was going to look at me and be crying and treating me like it might be the last time they were going to see me, I didn't need to see them. And when you're pursuing breakthrough and showing up as the version of you that will be the person that creates your new reality in your next level, you've got to have it in you to not be so worried about what it looks like or what they're thinking. Use what they're thinking as an opportunity to temp check your commitment level, not as information that is more powerful than you in that dream. And I'm not saying that you actually are going to become a different person. I'm saying you're going to, with breakthrough, become the person it takes to get where you want to go. And I know you have everything it takes. I know you have everything you need. And the next thing I want to talk about is that fear that the other shoe is going to drop, because this is also real. Like worrying about how it looks and then worrying about the other shoe dropping. I mean, there were years of my life where I was so afraid that if I let myself really relax and enjoy and be happy, I might die. I really thought that. And you might too, in your own way. I really thought that if I'm fully happy, why would I need to still be alive? Like that might be the end. That might be the end of the game. I've got to keep struggling and growing and suffering and putting myself through hell and coming out the other side and using crisis to motivate me to live. I had to get through being a basically battered woman, survival mode, broke, bulimic, bankrupt, single mom. Used all that to motivate me to keep going. Then I got cancer. Well, that motivated me to keep going. Earlier on, my childhood motivated me to keep going. I only knew crisis to motivate me to keep going. And then my life, because I had done the work to become the person it took to get the marriage, to have the career, to heal through cancer and stay committed to growing and physically transforming and emotionally and spiritually transforming my whole life as a result of that. I had done all that work. And again, I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying, what is your crisis that you've been using to motivate you? I want you to break through that fear that the other shoe is going to drop. And I hope this episode will help you do that. I had to get to a point where I decided now it's downstream. Enough upstream, enough freaking struggle, enough bullshit suffering and not being relaxed and enjoying my life enough because I'm afraid the other shoe is going to drop. Can you relate to what I'm saying? If the other shoe's going to drop, babe, it's going to drop and you can't stop it. And it will. So how are you going to live in between those difficult moments? Instead of like being in flight, running away, freeze, shutting down, or fighting, struggling your way to the top in between the shoe dropping, because it does, because people die, because people get fired, because people get dumped and cheated on, and tragedy and crisis does happen to all of us. You can't escape life being life, but it's not your fault. It's just life. You know, life is not happening to you. Life is not happening for you. Life is just happening. And breakthrough is who you choose to be while life's happening. And it is an absolute strategy and way of life that you've got access to all the time. And you don't need a crisis to motivate breakthrough. And you don't need a crisis to motivate growth. And you don't need a crisis to give you permission to blow your life up so that you can finally live how you want to live. You just need breakthrough and courage in your back pocket. And you have that. And I know you do. And I know you have that in spades. And the other shoe's going to drop. So what I want, instead of that fear of waiting for the other shoe to drop, is for you to live with an open heart. Because when you're afraid the other shoe's going to drop, guess what happens to your heart? It's got armor around it. It's got ice around it. And it's keeping the world from feeling you and experiencing you. And it's keeping you from experiencing and feeling the world. And it doesn't need to be this way. Worry about looking good. Forget the other shoe dropping. What I want is you showing up fully as you, and you living fully with an open heart in between the shoe dropping, because it's not about you when the shoe drops. It's just life. You can't stop it, and you can get better because of it. And these are big, big mistakes that we all make that prevent breakthrough. So the last thing I want to talk about today that prevents breakthrough is that struggle that we all have with relaxing into joy and happiness. And last year during COVID-19 in 2020, I heard it somewhere, I don't know where, but I love this. I heard somebody say the most powerful person in the room is the most relaxed person in the room. That was maybe one of the most important things I've ever heard in my life. The most relaxed person in the room is the most powerful person in the room. The most powerful person in the room is the most relaxed person in the room. And I had already decided, kind of like, fuck it. I'm going to let myself be happy. I do not know how much time I have. I do not know what is coming, but I have now. And so from there, it became a mission, a personal mission and a personal crusade to relax into joy and happiness, to relax into enjoying the fruits of my labor and the life I have as I keep working to design and grow and evolve and transform the life I'm living into more service. Because that's what I want, more service, more impact, more reach, more possibility, and more of an experience of life for me and the people that I come into contact with. So this is my personal strategy to outwit, outsmart, and outlast that fear of relaxing into joy and happiness that I want to share with you. I play a game with myself where I literally pretend like the cameras are rolling at all times, and like the moment I'm in could be my last, but not in a conceptual, again, today's episode is about integration, not in a conceptual, theoretical way, but in a literal way. And if you don't know me, I'm very literal. If you do know me, you know that. And I get really literal and serious about this idea of living like the cameras are rolling and living like each moment could be my last. I've experienced so much tragedy in my work with people, being with people who have lost children, being with people who are incest survivors, being with people who, lost a spouse at the drop of a dime. There's so much tragedy that happens in the world. There's so much. And how many of us lost people that we love to COVID, and how much war and genocide and just ridiculous pain and real pain is going on in the world. There's so much. And then what we have moment to moment is breakthrough. And authenticity is a moment to moment process. Breakthrough, it's a moment to moment process. This is another secret about breakthrough. You don't get to keep it. Just because you have a moment of clarity and the light bulbs went off and now breakthrough has you able to access this new experience and this new possibility while you again let that fear, doesn't necessarily go away, but it can get more and more backburnered. Right? And all the pain's real, but so is your ability to relax and enjoy the moments that you do have while you have them. When I interact with people, when I coach people, I truly treat it like I might never see them again. I got diagnosed with cancer on a random Tuesday and my life changed forever. We just don't know We don't how much time we have, but we have the ability to make sure in the moments we're in and the day we have that we gave our all to ourselves and to the people in front of us. And that's the secret sauce, and here's another thing I want you to think about. Authenticity, that relaxing into joy and happiness can only happen if you're authentic. It can only happen if you're real, and again, it's not about looking good. And it's not about getting it right, because you won't. It's about being willing to be where you are. That's how you relax and enjoy. Being willing to be where you are. It sounds so simple, but it is everything. I can be bawling in a grocery store and joyful. I can be crushed. Let myself be with that and joyful at the same time. I can be relaxed and furious at the same time. And it might sound bipolar. It's not. It's about being willing to be where you are. While I was pregnant, before I had gotten diagnosed with cancer, I was in a seminar and we were dropped off in the middle of the woods. We thought we were paying for a very elite, elaborate, high-end retreat with gorgeous accommodations. And there were a couple of days where we were dropped off in the woods and I'm pregnant and it was raining. And I remember I was peeing in my poncho in the rain, pregnant in the woods. And I probably did look out of my mind if the cameras were rolling and if you could have seen it at this moment. But I just remember laughing and thinking, I can be at peace and relaxed and happy in a situation that's not my preference. I didn't know that about myself. I didn't know that that was a possibility at all, that I could be in a situation that's not my preference and still be relaxed and happy and joyful. And I'm using lots of different words to say the same thing. Find your word for this, but the alternative to struggling with letting yourself relax into being joyful and happy is willingness, and authenticity is willingness to be where you are, just being real, not worrying about whether or not it looks good, not worrying about what other people think, worrying more about being relaxed, happy, joyful, clear, and clean than anything else, because you know who you are, you know where you're going, you know what's important to you. That's everything. That, my friends, is breakthrough. And that is your right. And you can't change it. But you can break through. And that's what I want for you. And that's what our mission is on the Tougher Together Breakthrough podcast. If you like what you're hearing, please like us, subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and share this podcast with your friends. And if you have a question, if you have anything that you want to ask for us to address on the show, we will get to the questions that we feel can help our audience the best. And we will get to as many of your questions as we can. Give us a call at 303-578-0027. Give us a call, leave us a message with your question at 303-578-0027, and we'll do our best to get to your question. And with that being said, we have some questions.
Hey, Rebeccah, I'm afraid to lose my job, and I'm afraid to even look for other jobs. It just feels like there's no way to win. Please help.
Anytime it feels like there's no way to win, you're just a breakthrough away from the solution. What I want you to do is know that there's always a solution. And again, when you're worried about looking good, when you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, and when you're afraid to relax into joy and happiness, you have no access to breakthrough. So just one more time, I want us to instead replace that worrying about looking good with a commitment to showing up fully as you, to replace that fear of waiting for the other shoe to drop, to living fully with an open heart, and that fear of basically being in fear of letting yourself and struggling with letting yourself relax into joy and happiness. That gets replaced with authenticity and willingness. Just be where you are, and the breakthrough is really your new commitment to finding the solution and to being who it takes to get over the wall. that you're up against. So if you're feeling stuck in career, if you're feeling stuck anywhere, so many people are in that position as well. And don't be afraid to flirt with new possibilities. Don't be afraid to flirt with new opportunities. And you don't have to do anything yet. Where it starts with knowing that the energy eventually will shift if you decide that you're unwilling for it not to. Let me say that again. The energy eventually will shift if you decide for it to be a non-negotiable, a absolute certainty that it will shift. It will shift if you believe it will. It won't shift if you don't. You are stuck if you believe you are. You're not stuck if you know and trust and commit to this energy is going to shift. The solutions will come. I just haven't seen them yet. I just haven't found them yet. And then you're not going to find those solutions outside of yourself. That's where it gets tough. That's where it's time to start following the internal trail markers until you get to the solution. So 3 things you can try when it comes to this, if anybody is feeling stuck in career, and I'm sure there are plenty of people right now as we're all picking up the pieces in a pandemic, looking at, okay, something has to give with my career. So thank you for this question. So the first thing is, have you given your current situation an opportunity to grow with and work with you? Have you asked for what you want? And do you even know what you want, or are you just struggling with what you don't want? So start with, what do you need to be different? Is it compensation? Is it a job description? Is it your schedule? Is it maybe you need different or new or more support in your position? Start with, what do you need that you don't have? Then identify actually what is working. What is working that you want to keep? Because whether you stay or whether you go, what's working that you want to keep needs to be something you've thought of as well. And that also helps when you're presenting to a boss or, to an interview committee. Here's what I actually love about me and what I do and what I've had in my past job that works that I want to keep. Here's what I'm looking for in terms of growth and expansion. Like, I want you to have the answers to those questions. And then finally, it's a soul searching, it's a journal exercise, and here's the homework for everyone today. I want you to write about, if I was willing to show up fully as the version of me that I would need to be to create the life I want, or this goal or dream or big want that I want, what would that look like? Start there. You got to show up as the person that finds the way in breakthrough to have the possibility and the miracle happen. And you're just a miracle away. And all a miracle is it came together. And it comes together when you're in breakthrough. And you can't be in breakthrough and then convinced that there's no solution or no way out at the same time. So the breakthrough starts with just knowing there's possibility and getting connected to that. And then it's getting over a wall that you haven't gotten over before. That is breakthrough. Breakthrough's life on the other side of the wall. And you have it in you. You do. You can also, if you need to, if it's better than journaling, some people don't like to journal, voice text. Who do I need to be to get the life I want? How would I need to show up? What would need to stay? What would need to go? What would I need to level up about me to cross that finish line? Start there. Thank you so much for the question. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, if you like what you're hearing, like us, subscribe, share with your friends, leave us a review. We would be so grateful. More to come. Season 2 of the Tougher Together Breakthrough Podcast with me, your host, Rebeccah Silence. I couldn't be more grateful to share these secrets and my secret weapon that I have in my back pocket all the time, breakthrough, with all of you. Please note that the content of this podcast is not meant to be therapeutic or to replace any personal growth work that you are already doing with a coach, therapist, or mentor. Take the content, have it inspire you, and then keep working with your support system. Breakthrough is your right. Breakthrough reminds us that we're tougher together and that we're connected to possibility even in the most challenging and possibly darkest times. I'm Rebeccah Silence, creator of Healing is Possible and proud host of the Tougher Together Breakthrough Podcast, where we come together and we tell stories of real breakthrough that exist for you as well. Get ready to break through. Get ready to live more free and get ready to experience more breakthrough, because that's your right. If you like what you're hearing on the Tougher Together Breakthrough podcast with me, your host, Rebeccah Silence, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. If you want to get in touch with me, visit RebeccahSilence.com. Your time is now. Your breakthrough begins now.